Welcome back, everybody, to Brutally Honest Reviews, only on the Brutally Honest Network. Today, we're reviewing a favorite of this movie. Favorite. Not saying that it's our favorite movie of the year, because it might not be. But, yeah, I know.
No.
So this movie, called The Favorite, properly titled, is a film based in... What time period are we in? I'm sorry,
Old.
I'm stupid.
Napoleonic.
Yeah.
It's like early 1800s.
There's still a war happening. I just don't know what war is.
Yeah, they talk about Napoleon. They're at war with
So
Napoleon.
1800s?
Yeah.
So early 1800s.
Probably close to like 1840s.
Yeah.
1840s.
Something like that.
So they're at war with Napoleon.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is basically about Queen. Is it Queen Elizabeth?
Queen Anne?
Queen Anne.
Yeah.
Queen Anne. Yeah. So it's about Queen Anne, and we're following Queen Anne in particularly the end part of her career as queen, where she's kind of becoming old. She's realizing that her beauty is going very quickly. She's very in dire need of
Reassurance
and attention, and she has her assistant played by
hot ass lady. Don't know her name.
what's her name?
Hot ass lady. Rob.
Catherine Weiss. Rachel Weisz.
Yes.
Rachel Weisz. Okay, so
Yes.
her right-hand woman, Rachel Weisz, is basically, she does everything for her, and Rachel Weisz actually, Rachel Weisz is kind of like the mouth behind the curtain.
She's her Dick Cheney.
She's her, exactly. We just watched Vice, and Dick Cheney is basically to George Bush what Rachel Weisz is to
Queen Anne.
Anne Colvin. The character played Anne Colvin played Queen Anne, and we don't really get too much backstory, which is my personal only story issue with this film, is that we're introduced to Emma Stone, who has come to the Queen Anne's kingdom to basically better herself, to basically come in. She's nowhere to turn, and she comes in to get a job, and she's initially turned down. She ends up working in the maid quarters, cleaning floors with a lie and burning her hands.
She's Rachel's cousin.
Rachel's cousin. Yeah.
Is her name Catherine in this?
Who?
Rachel.
Sarah Churchill.
Sarah.
Yeah, it's Sarah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And Emma is Abigail.
Yeah, I remember that one because they called her Abby a lot.
Okay.
Her name was probably the only one I remember. But yeah, they talked like they knew who each other was, because at first it was like, your cousin? You sure you're a cousin? But apparently because they're like, oh, your dad's the crazy one who like fucking went nuts and like offed himself. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was the only mild backstory of anything we got.
Yeah,
Is that Abigail comes from a fucking crazy dude.
And she was sold to a fat German man.
Yeah.
Yep. Who she tricked into him thinking that her period lasts 28 days in a month. Which I thought was hilarious.
There's little things that were funny in this.
Yeah, I mean, so this movie is about Queen Anne's decline and the fight for power between Emma Stone's character and Rachel Weisz's character, Abigail. Abigail is Emma Stone's character, and Sarah is Rachel Weisz's character. So this entire film is basically this character study. It's just this, like, when these two didn't like it. I loved it, but I think the reason why is because I was vested completely in the characters, and like this movie in a traditional sense wouldn't be. I'm not gonna say wouldn't be a good movie, but like it wouldn't, in a traditional sense, be appealing to most people because it wasn't a movie for someone to watch and take apart on like an acting level. It was more of like, it was a bizarre film. I mean, it really was. But like this film, what I got out of it was really that 3 of the best acting performances I've ever seen, and then some. So first thoughts, Rob.
So weird. So unsettling. Too many hand jobs.
Yeah.
Way too many hand jobs that you had to sit through
Yes.
until she finished.
Yes.
Off screen though.
It doesn't matter.
No, that one hand
You
job.
could hear it.
The one hand
It
job.
was like
where
smacking a
fucking-
can of mayonnaise with a butter knife. Shit was
Fucking
gross.
Emma Stone's like straight up like talking to herself, and she's just like, "This is just happening," like in the back, and I'm like, "That's happening.
I
That's
love
happening.
that.
That's happening."
I'm surprised
so weird
though,
to
that
me.
No, you guys didn't like it because like that was just another point of her proving like her dominance of
Yeah.
a female over the male like persona in this movie, basically.
Yeah.
In
Still
general.
don't need to see him jack anyone off.
For a good 2 minutes.
I know, but
And I definitely don't need to hear about the queen getting licked in between her legs, as she put it.
Yeah.
So it's just weird.
Like I feel like it was very like out loud, but it was
Yeah.
supposed to be so secret between her and Sarah. But when they're walking to
Yeah.
the carriage, she's like, "I like when she puts her tongue inside me." And I'm
yeah,
like,
that was it.
what?
I loved all of it.
Because you know that Sarah ain't doing that shit.
I thought that
She's just
dialogue
letting the
was-
queen doing the nasty to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that in turn.
That's what I loved because like it became such. There was so much tension.
There was.
There's so much tension that I was just like, oh shit, this is going. Like I did not know what was gonna happen next. That was my thing with this movie, and like I fucking loved it. And like I know everybody's not gonna like it because it's a very unique type of movie, but I loved it. Sorry, did you finish or did I interrupt you?
Oh no, I finished.
Okay. You finished? Okay, good.
Too many hand jobs.
Too many hand jobs that you finished?
Yeah.
So, let me just go into this a little bit more before
Yeah.
I turn it over.
Sure.
The acting in this was some of the best I've ever seen, hands down.
Yeah.
It was really good.
cinematography in this was actually very, very strong. The only issue I had was when they chose to use their wide-angle lens to show the size of the grandeur of the place to how immature they were acting. They could have used the lens with no distortion.
It went very fisheye frequently.
It did.
And I was like, ooh, my brain's getting all stupid now. Because they did it a lot, and I couldn't tell if that was, like, meant to represent something or someone just fucked up with a lens somewhere. Because it went very
Yeah.
fisheye, but I didn't know if that was purposeful.
You could go as far to say that it was also the distorted view that these characters had while all of their villagers literally suffered and died from disease while they partied up in a mansion and treating things like it's no big deal and dined and danced and partied every day.
And raised
The
ducks.
whores did well. That's all we knew of. There's just whores everywhere.
Yes. However, the distortion with the lens wasn't necessary.
No.
We got it.
Yes.
It was a little bit heavy-handed.
It was.
That I didn't like. The acting, though, back to the acting, like the three leads, incredible. The actor from Warm Bodies that was mentioned off camera.
Nicholas Hoult or Holt.
That's his name?
I think so. You guys didn't like, or at least one of you.
No,
didn't
I
like.
liked him.
So you didn't like.
He was, oh.
He was so creepy.
He was very Dennis
just-
Reynolds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah.
I feel like his character was just annoying, but at the same time, I feel like I've not necessarily been conditioned, but like I feel like in a sort of high society type thing, I don't want to see like little brats running around because then I'm like, oh fuck, you kind of make big deal decisions for like a general public, and you are literally pushing people off a hill because they won't tell you secrets. Like
Well,
you are a child, but like
Everybody's a jaded idiot. though, in this
politics
movie,
today
except
are
for
like
him.
that, so he was just, I don't know. Just ridiculous. I think it's just the makeup. I was like, I cannot take this
it was
Yeah,
seriously.
ridiculous.
the lipstick, the blush,
But that's
the
very
wig.
much how they were. Like men back in the day
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
always like that. That's how you looked healthy and powerful.
There were a lot.
That's
of
how they
funny
hid their
jokes.
syphilis.
Yes. Yes.
Funny story.
What?
That's why they all dress like that. It's to hide syphilis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, diseases run rampant.
Yeah, they
Oh,
didn't
is it
know.
because of all the bruises on the face?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's why they
seriously.
paint. Yeah.
Huh.
It's the same thing how people from Spain say Barcelona. They did that because their king talked with a lisp. So they did that so he didn't feel weird.
Incredible.
And this man got so syphilised up he started bruising and having open sores. So he started dressing like that with the wig and stuff because his hair was falling out. He had bruises and lesions. So people are like, oh, that's the new look.
They do that in Pillars of the Earth. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Like that time period, it was just a lot of covering up, a lot of nasty going on.
People,
unless you're a poor and homeless and you let that shit
dirty.
Just simmer.
Yeah.
Get all maggoty.
Mm-hmm.
So let's turn over to you for your thoughts. What do you think?
So I went into this thinking it was going to be a little bit more not family friendly, but not as aggressive as it was. But I think the thing that upset me is the fact that this was so visually beautiful. I'm having a serious conversation. This is a lot visually was very well done. Costuming was so well done. Acting was so well done. But I feel like if anyone asked me how it was, I would have to be very careful on how I told them. Because not everybody is going to be able to sit through this and be like, that was great. Like, I still found so much about this I liked, and I still didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not the person this was made for. But at the same time, it all depends on how you feel about this kind of like subject matter and kind of character development and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Because it was very beautiful. I very, very much so like sort of old Renaissance-y type, shit like that. But
the lighting was very good.
It was very, very pretty to look at.
The use of candles.
There was
a real daylight.
Yeah.
And
it was very well executed, but it's very delicate subject matter in certain situations that I feel like if certain people was like, can I go see it? I don't know.
I don't think it's very delicate though, because like back then it's like I like obviously like there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek like references to this and that
a lot
may
of
not be
stuff.
Yeah, but like generally how everyone acted, and like I could definitely see that in a primitive age.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like all films I've seen in that sort of nature have never been like that.
Yeah.
Like they've always been more of like, these are beautiful, time. I mean, what, Monty Python or whatever, that's its own fucking universe.
Yeah.
But like things like, I went in thinking this is going to be something like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Like I thought it was going to be like it, because it was like Renaissance-y and it had its little like gory aspects, but I wasn't expecting as much.
Hands.
Yeah, there's just a lot of sexual tension in the theater the whole time, and I feel like everyone else who was in the theater with me wasn't expecting it, because you could feel how tense it was in there during certain scenes, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm more uncomfortable by the vibe of this room than what's actually happening.
I might be able to shed a little bit of light on how this director works.
Okay.
Because after I saw this film, I liked it so much that I'm like, I've heard about his previous film, The Lobster, for a long time, and I sat down and watched it. And I stayed up till like 2 a.m. or something, and it was like dying. I usually go to sleep at like 9. I'm like a baby now. But like I stayed up till like 2 in the morning watching The Lobster, his first film. The director's name is Yorgos Lanthimos. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong.
That sounds like something.
He's Greek.
Greek?
Yeah, it's just tough to say.
All right.
Close?
Yeah.
Okay. So The Lobster is about, and I'm gonna try not to give anything away because I recommend everybody go see it. It's definitely a very bizarre and weird film. The Lobster takes place in a fictional world where when people lose their partner in life, when they lose their husband or wife because they die.
Oh, he likes this Rachel Weisz lady. She's in a bunch of his shit.
Yeah, she's in that too. So when their partners die, they go to this hotel where they're assigned basically a regimen where they're living at this hotel the whole time, and they have to find a partner in 40-something days. And if they don't find a partner in that many days, they get turned into an animal, and then they have a second chance in finding a partner there.
As an animal?
As an animal.
That sounds interesting.
And if they don't find a partner, if they and they do this thing in the movie called The Hunt, where they hunt the runaways, the people who have escaped or have outstayed their welcome there.
Oh.
There's a lot going on, but like this film was fucking just amazing. Like it was a whole universe created in this movie, and Colin Farrell's in it. Well, Rachel Weisz is in it also. Fuck, who else is in it? I mean, you've got to see it.
It sounds interesting.
This guy seems to be a big fan of hand jobs in movies. It's just reading the plot.
Yeah.
I feel like because I wasn't familiar.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with his work beforehand. I wasn't expecting it to be. I'm not saying it was aggressive, but like.
It was in your face.
It was. It was very in your face. They spent, you know,
but like
a lot
of
time on it, but still, how it was shot was well done. So I'm sitting there watching this, like, okay, but things were well lit. I feel like everything. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like things were accurate.
Yeah.
With like palaces and their like hidden doors and, you know, little hallways and all that shit. And
if you do remember, it is limited release, so like maybe they knew that they were like, this isn't for everybody.
That's why I'm like, was this done on purpose because this was so interesting, or because Mary, Queen of Scots or whatever, is it's not the same, but it's a period piece,
similar time
period. Yeah, also in it.
Yeah, so it's like,
is she?
Yep.
I'm actually
check it out. I'm pretty sure.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
But I feel like when they both came out, I was like, oh, these are probably super cool. That thought they were going to be super similar, and I can guarantee Mary, Queen of Scots, is not going to be anything like this. But like this, I think what it not upset me, but it's because this film is kind of for a specific kind of group. And it's upsetting that I feel like some people aren't going to really understand how visually beautiful this film is.
Yeah.
Because they'll be, like, for me, when I left, I was a little bit stuck on the shit that happened.
Emma Stone?
Queen Anne.
I thought she was fantastic.
I know she is,
yeah, I didn't know that.
She was fantastic in this film. Whilst aggressive, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
She's also the officer in Hot Fuzz that keeps trying to fuck everybody.
Yeah, I know, remember that. I've been around the office a couple of times.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I recommend everybody see Lobster, because then you'll understand where this director's coming from.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty interesting.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. You seen Dogville?
No.
It's very up the alley of Dogville. Dogville is about a fictional community that is like it's like a community where everybody kind of chips in to help each other out, but it plays out in a warehouse with boundaries. Instead of walls, it's dotted lines on the floor, so you can see inside everybody's house what's going on. So you see Natalie Portman in this movie get taken advantage of, and you just see like the hierarchy, like you just see people devolve.
Right.
Like, so it's very like
all their walls are down and shit.
Yeah, see Dogville if you get a chance too.
Okay.
Like, that's a wild film.
I definitely need to go into I don't necessarily need to research. I don't really care about spoilers, but I definitely think going in knowing what I was getting myself into probably would have helped.
Yeah, I knew a little bit about what this was about. I did do a lot of research into it. Like, I love Emma Stone. Yeah. Also, she's super hot.
She's cool.
So, that's fly. But, I loved this. I thought that it was great. I mean, I don't really have anything to say except for the camera, one wide angle thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Rachel Weisz almost looks unaged from The Mummy.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's fucking hot.
She's aged.
I want to be her
well.
so bad when I grow up. Like, she just is aging so well. It's not fair.
If you take away the uncomfortable hand jobs, I would have liked this movie a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, not focusing on the things that did make me uncomfortable. This was great.
I don't need a hand job in relatively real time.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, wow, cool. This actually probably happened.
Just as enthusiastic as everyone else that gives a hand job. Thinking about her work day.
What was this rated?
Definitely R.
Okay. I end up, when you're a grown-ass adult, you don't care about ratings anymore. So I never know what I'm actually seeing.
I like the way this movie, the entire time the movie is building up to a head. Not literally, but also literally. The entire time this movie is building up, that Emma Stone is gonna try to sleep with the queen to get her to pick her over Rachel Weisz.
Absolutely.
But they don't do it heavy-handed. Like, it's not, and neither were the Handjobs, man. Not,
those were delicate.
That was a poor analogy. I'm sorry. But
we're gonna have to end up like getting this like age restricted if we don't relax.
No, these are all
Handjobs 13 plus.
Okay.
Handjobs are 13 plus? What do you mean? Is that like a sale?
Yeah, it's a sale. Just giving them away for anyone over 13.
So this podcast
kids.
is PG-13.
We don't diddle kids.
TV 14.
Not in Frank's Beauties pageant.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Where are we?
All over the place.
This film was kind of all over the place.
This movie's tough for me to review. It really is, because I really didn't have any issue with it. I really liked it a lot. I really did.
Can you explain the ending?
Oh, she was touching her.
Mm-hmm.
Like the very
The queen's
end?
still in power. That's how she's letting her
but
know.
like, why did it spend 10 minutes focusing on bunnies zooming in?
I didn't understand that.
Oh, I don't get the rabbits, but I got the ending, how Queen was letting her know that she saw through her.
Yeah. She's like, I just saw you step on my kid, because she stepped on a bunny.
My leg hurts, rabbit.
Yeah, but
Hiya.
it's like, why?
Yeah, it's something to think about.
Part of me was like,
did
did she kill her own kids? Like, what's going on? Because she said
she
she
was-
got a bunny for every kid that died.
I read about the backstory, really. It's just because nobles are all inbred and they're all very unhealthy.
Oh, okay.
So it was hard for her to go full term with the children.
Explain the rabbits,
Like
though.
the end with
Well,
the
the rabbits is
was
just how she
ridiculous.
filled her holes for the missing children.
Yeah.
I saw that wink, boy.
Those weren't rabbits.
Is Emma
tons.
Stone supposed to be just like another rabbit to her? Like, is
No,
that supposed to be
she's
like
she's the new
she's
kid on the block.
replaceable? Is
Well,
that-
everyone's replaceable. But she really only got her because usually she was the one doing all the work.
Well, it's really the rabbit shot we're trying to figure out, though.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
did
focus
cross-cut it?
so much time on that, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
missing something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm definitely missing something with that. But it's like shit like that would happen, and I'm like, I know.
I mean, try looking it up.
This
Maybe we can find
means
an answer.
something, and I don't know what it is.
What do the rabbits at the end of Favorite mean? I don't know. That is one.
They
thing I
do
do
stand
know.
for her children.
Yeah.
And when she started to hurt one of her children is when she stood up for herself.
But you remember the end when they cross-cut her rubbing her leg with all
Yeah.
the bunnies jumping around.
Yeah,
What
but
the fuck did that
it was
mean?
right after she saw
Maybe
her
just an
hurt one of
artistic
them.
shot? I don't know.
It's gotta.
That they focused on it way too much for it to not mean something, and I think
everything in this
that's.
has a meaning.
I left very unsettled because of that's how it ended. I was like, are we sure it's done? But I did like most. I don't know if most, but I feel like I've watched films like this when they're in this time period and they split it up into parts. So like when it was like I, and then like IV and all that
I
shit.
liked the titles.
Yeah, they were. There was a lot of this that was very visually cool.
Yeah,
Just some shit was just a little aggressive.
yeah.
And like rabbits, I didn't understand. But it sucks. 'cause-
Okay.
Oh, did we find out?
Possibly.
Oh,
Okay, let's figure this out.
what do the rabbits mean? Hold while we figure it out.
Okay. There are actual rabbits, 17 of them, representing each of Queen Anne's lost children.
Yeah, we know that.
Some born as blood, the Queen says, while others were stillborn or died in early childhood.
Yeah.
Favorites loosely based on real events. Recounting the fall from grace from Queen Anne's most trusted companion, Sarah Churchill, the Duchess of Marlborough.
Mm-hmm.
The inclusion of the bunnies, however, to represent those all too brief lives is an apocryphal flourish. Yeah.
Right.
Super.
Not unlike the incredible dance scene in which Sarah can be found voguing with her rival Abigail's future husband. Not only is there no record of Queen Anne having kept such a maudlin menagerie, but also rabbits only popularly started to be kept as domestic pets in the 19th century, a full 100 years after the favorite is set.
Yeah, this is probably not going to tell us what we want to know, though.
Is she a domestic pet? Is that what it is?
The last shot is what we need to know.
It is Abigail who is attracted to them. Abigail who realizes that showing affection toward the bunnies is the surest way to the queen's heart.
Yeah.
And all that will remain. In the end, are the bunnies with their cute ears, wide eyes, and killer instincts.
Okay.
Don't get it.
I think Abigail is a domesticated pet. I think that's all it is, because I feel like they're fighting to be her favorite, but they're fighting to be her favorite by doing things she wants them to do. Because, like, I feel we touched upon it. We were like, she's in charge. So, like, even though she's keeping all these bunnies and everything, you know, she makes Sarah every time. She's like, say hello to the children, like all that shit. I feel like she just kind of barks orders at them, and I feel like they're domesticated pets. So when she's on the floor and, like, at her knee and all that, I feel like they're just domesticated pets like the rabbits are.
You're right, because at the end, the queen stares at her, knowing she full well that she has the power over Abigail, and almost like she needed to go through the loss of Sarah to reassure herself that she has the power.
That she has power.
And Abigail ended up at the end ending surprised, because she thought that she had won and she thought that she had the power, and she didn't realize that she just put herself underneath, you know, a power.
Yeah, exactly.
Just found basically what you just said.
Oh, tight! I didn't need anyone to explain shit.
Sarah criticized the rabbits as sentimental and macabre.
Yep.
Abigail, on the other hand, used them to ingratiate herself with the queen. In a sense, Abigail appeared to be a rabbit herself. Beautiful and cuddly and harmless. But with that final shot, Lathamos conveys a different message. Abigail's act has taken on a bastardized truth. She's a pet, caged and helpless. And the queen's desperate desire for unconditional love, the love of the children she doesn't have, has led her to cast off the one person who truly cared about her. All that she's left with are rabbits, with Abigail being one of them.
I feel like that makes me like this film way more, now that that was kind of explained, because I didn't really get that at first, and that's purely just me being way too caught up on all the things. But yeah,
Seems too obvious of a...
But I feel like now that we talk about that, I'm like, yeah, they fought for the same thing, but at the same time, 90% of this was Sarah making the shots through the queen.
Right.
And now that the queen's kind of she's, you know, stroked out, half of her body's not working, she's like decaying from the inside. And
she died like 3 years after this movie.
Yeah. She had she just had a pet at that point. Like she, like you said, like she realized that she did still have power, because even though Abigail like stepped on one of the bunnies and it was screaming, and even though like the queen like had no vision at that point, she could still tell that something wasn't right, and she's like, bitch, I'm gonna put you in your place. But it's like she couldn't do that with Sarah.
Right.
Sarah was always like, bitch, you better sit down. I'm like,
She would have told her to fuck off.
that is the queen. And so like at first when Emma Stone was like, I won, and she was like, have you? Now that we are talking about this, I like this so much more. Because now I'm like, all of this makes so much sense. I'm upset with myself at getting so caught up on how tense this whole thing was.
Well, and like just the fact that like how Emma Stone would Abigail would just be able to. She was just so good at manipulating.
She was
the typical male sex-driven characters that it was so entertaining to watch. Just her dismantle her situation. No matter what it was, she seemed to figure it out.
She had control until she didn't.
Yeah, because nobody was paying attention, even the queen, until the end, until she realized, wait, this is just, you know, this is the pet. I have power.
Yeah.
This is my slave. She's not my keeper. You know.
Yeah. All right. Tight. Wow, I'm mad at myself a little bit.
Well, it's definitely a movie. I can't wait to see it.
It's
again.
made for a specific audience.
Yes.
I was just about to say, this is one of those movies that I don't think I could watch again, nor would I want to. Not that it's bad. There are great movies. Like Schindler's List is a movie I don't want to watch
Yeah,
again.
no, I'm
Yeah.
really
But it's a
glad I
great
watched
movie.
it, but I
Right.
don't.
It's along those lines. Like this movie I just found unsettling. I didn't hate the movie. I just didn't like it.
I didn't like the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
For me, just coming from like a film perspective, like watching 3 actresses just completely like own everything. Like this like to me, like watching this was like, Jesus, I wish this would happen on my set.
Who did you think stole the show in this movie?
Queen Anne.
That's what I think too. Out of all the heavy performances they had in this, I still think that the Queen was the best.
As a character who wasn't, like, I feel like Sarah and Abigail were like these super sexy, pretty people, and like Queen Anne, though she's in power, she's still like unraveling. I feel like she had the most kind of going on, even though it focused on these 2 girls being the favorite. Like you saw her like unraveling in a
Queen
position
Anne-
of power.
Queen Anne's the one that went through a character arc.
Yeah.
The other 2 were just there to bounce off of her, to be antagonists.
Yeah.
Both of them were some of the best antagonists I've ever seen. But like, you're right, I can't say that Queen Anne didn't steal the show. You know, her de-evolution during the whole movie was incredible.
Yeah. And I feel like in almost all films, it's mainly seeing someone start from nothing and like get to somewhere. And this is someone who has everything. She's in a
Slowly
position of
decaying.
power, and she is just rotting
Literally.
the whole time.
Has to-
Gout, has
Yep.
a stroke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her stroke
All
face was
fucked up.
incredible. I
That
need to do
was-
that was
research on
creepy.
that. I need to do research on that. They
Because
definitely
they never addressed that she had a stroke.
no, but they
but
made
you
half
could
her
tell
face.
right when it happened she was
Yeah.
They definitely pulled
Really
her
well
face
done.
It
down
was
with
nasty.
tape and then put prosthetics over
Just watching her.
I need to
rub
know.
her Leg rubs.
my leg hurts. Touch me.
it. I think that's also just
The scene where Sarah was on the other side of the door, and Queen Anne wouldn't let her in, was a really big scene for me because like it was Queen Anne finally putting her foot down after being so giving in,
yeah.
and it was just like that was the tension came to a head.
Mm-hmm.
Not literally.
Not this time.
I feel like I don't know. At that point, like they were fighting to be the favorite, but I feel like at that point Sarah knew she won. Like she knew because I mean, whatever. Her husband was taken out of power to make decisions towards the end. They still had like a castle to go to, whatever. And Sarah and the Queen still had love for each other. I mean, she was sending her like letters, and then Abigail was taking them and throwing them in the fire. But I feel like she knew, like when she was like, "Do you really think you won?" Like she knew.
Yeah.
That just because you're the favorite doesn't mean shit. Like, I can go, she gave me a castle. Like, I can just go be my own human. And now you are nothing without the Queen.
Yeah, she's trapped.
She's a lady now with a husband she gives no shit about. She just wanted to marry him to become a lady. But it's like, she gave up every ounce of her to be in this position.
Yeah.
To just still be a pet to somebody.
Right.
And I feel like they focused a lot of like when she was sold to whoever, and they kept making references that she was gonna be thrown out with like rest of the whores and fuck her in the ass or whatever the hell they were saying, just aggressive shit of that nature.
Yeah.
And it's like she still ended up being used.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm glad we talked about this because I definitely changed my mind about this film.
I just want to see it again.
I don't think I'll see it again, but it is super. I think what disappoints me definitely the most is that this is meant for people who want to discuss it and talk about it and really get into it. And so I feel like some people aren't going to be able to see past some of the shit that happens. And I think that's what made me uncomfortable, because I could tell like all the women, well, not all the women, but there was a lot of scenes where like people were like nervous laughing.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh my God, let this stop. And it's like unfortunate, because this was very visually beautiful. Costuming was fucking fantastic. Effects, while minimal, were well done in terms of makeups. And characters, while whatever, my own personal gripes about certain actor choices aside, this well acted, well executed, however you feel in aggressively sexual situations is your own shit. But
yeah, I've seen it all.
Okay, Evan. When there's two like
Spartacus.
moms in front of me, like on like a dinner date together, and this is what they're seeing.
Maybe
I'm like,
that's
wow.
why I felt so uncomfortable, because who I was watching it with, it was nothing but middle-aged women.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a couple of like men you knew were just dragged along because they wanted to see it, but it
That's
was a
what
lot
made
of
it so
older women, and
uncomfortable.
that's why they were like,
You don't think they
oh
get
my
their rocks
God.
off?
I hope not.
No, with the reactions and how like
No
I've never
rocks to be
sat
getting off.
I've never sat through a more silent film than this.
Really?
Besides like the nervous laughs here and there was not I mean, besides like A Quiet Place, which I'm still super like shocked the audience was that quiet for it. This was the most silent, tense film I have ever sat through. And I think that's also what had to do with it, because the whole environment, I was like, I just want to go home right now. And then I had like an hour drive home from Framingham. But like,
It's just a filter difference. I don't really give a shit what I see. I've seen so much shit. You also forget that I've had a 2,500 movie horror collection, and I've watched a lot of the shittier
I've
ones,
seen
which include a lot of
the
dumb
movies that
shit.
take over your entire living room. I've
See,
seen
those
it.
things, those things don't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't know why this bothered me so
Yeah,
much.
I'm used to
I'm
like
lost.
super raunchy shit. I definitely feel like it's the people I was around. I definitely, it's the whole setting of it. I wasn't in a familiar theater.
And they made a rape joke.
Did they?
Yeah.
They did make
When
Yeah,
he
they did.
busted into her room, she's like, what is it gonna be? He's like, oh, I'm a lord, I don't do that. So she goes, oh, it's rape then.
Yeah.
And she just swings open her like nightgown and accepts it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the time.
It's the time period.
Yeah, that's
And I think
just
that's
weird.
what's super unfortunate too. Like a lot of people don't want to accept that that's how the time period was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, men and women are still trafficked, mainly women, but like back then you literally just went to a whorehouse, or your dad sold you to some lord somewhere, and you were literally like a chalk for his pool cue. Like that's just all you were.
I think,
Sounds gross.
I think it was put in the movie to highlight how disgusting it is to rape somebody. But like the problem is, like when certain people see this, like some people go to the movies and would find it funny.
Yeah.
Like some people find it. There are people out there who literally find rape funny.
Which
Like
is
I'm not saying like to joke about it and like a joking set, like a joking sense. I'm saying like there are actually real people who actually legitimately get a kick out of it when rape is brought up, and those people should just be exiled.
Yeah.
chemically castrated.
Yeah.
That's right. People still do that?
Sure, why not?
Why am I saying hopefully? As if I wish that upon myself.
For those people's sake.
That's not a snip. That's like a
I've only
like Quentin Tarantino in Planet Terror.
I've only seen that meme on like Family Guy, when like Chris turns into just like a noob because he just loves girls' titties and he like pops boners, and they're like chemical castration. I'm like, is that a thing? And he turns into like such like a hello like individual. And he's like manners and shit. I'm like, is that what happens? I don't get it. Like when you're not thinking about ladies and lady parts all the time, you just turn into a well-mannered member of society.
People think that's what Michael Jackson's father did to him.
What?
That's how he kept his voice like that.
Oh, okay.
Chemical
Yeah,
castration?
I heard about that. We'll never know.
Oh boy.
Or maybe we will one day. I don't
Someone
know.
has that file somewhere.
Some kind of weird pirate grave robber from 2021 or 2100. 2021.
Someone's gonna come back from the future and be like,
I guess
guess
it
what
could be
I found,
2021.
bitch. Hope there's a rip.
So
in
let's
our
round
time
this
slot.
one out.
Okay.
Final thoughts and number grade, Rob.
As much as I didn't enjoy watching this movie, it was still a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, I see all the positive aspects of it, but I probably won't watch it again. Actually, no, I won't watch it again. But probably like a 7.5.
I upped my review even more than it already was. It was a 9. I'm going 9.5. I really loved this movie. It was some of the best acting I've ever seen. And I'm looking forward to buying it and watching it several more times to catch anything I missed. Cinematography was amazing. Again, just that one weird distortion wide shot, not really needed. You know, we get it. The lighting was amazing. A lot of daylight, natural light, because it's, you know, trying to be authentic to the time period. They're trying to sugarcoat everything with this warm lighting and trying to make it
super romantic looking.
Yeah, it's already surrealist. So
Yeah.
like, you don't want to go too far. So like, I think their choice to just keep it daylight, use a lot of negative fill, was like,
It was cool.
it kept the characters grounded.
Yeah.
And it made Queen Anne's descent in general much more entertaining to watch and artsy. Yeah, 9.5. No regrets.
Nice. Yeah, visually, this was an incredible film. I think with lighting and what you said, I feel like that's what kept it super uneasy, I think, because the natural light was very gray, very gloomy, very, very cold feeling, and that just kept me feeling like, oh shit, because usually I feel like Renaissance-y things, you want it to have like super romantic candle lighting and everything's beautiful, and this is kind of like, no bitch, this is how it was like.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like subject matter is definitely for certain types of people, definitely depends on comfort level and who's watching it, but once we're talking about it and explaining it more, I definitely changed my rating of it, because I didn't...
Yeah.
When I left, I was very uncomfortable, so I was like, fuck this movie! But like, now thinking about it, now talking about it, I didn't hate it leaving either. Visually was great, costuming was beautiful, makeup was beautiful, acting was incredible. It was just a little weird.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5, purely because it sucks of how limited I feel like people will be able to sit through this.
Yeah.
As visually beautiful as it is, I feel like there's some people who just won't be able to get past some of the shit that happens, unfortunately.
I don't argue that. It's probably why it's limited release. Just more pain for me.
There wasn't a lot of people in the theater either. There was the two people in front of me, a couple of couples off to the side, and
this was all over trailers on TV, so it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Really?
That it wasn't wider release.
I don't have television. I watch nothing but Netflix and Hulu. So I only ever saw it a couple of times in the theaters.
It was advertised all over TV.
Yeah, but I don't watch a lot of TV either, so now I'm like, what the fuck?
You saw a lot of trailers, but it was.
Which is weird.
I watch FX and things like that. It was.
Oh, on FX. Okay, that explains it. Because I'm like, this is weird for something that is this mature in content to have it be so not promoted, but like, I don't know. There's like certain things that you're like, yeah, that'd be cool as like a YouTube ad, but like certain things I'm like, you're on TV. Yikes. And I think that's what made me go in, thinking it'd be a little more tame than it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this was great. It was just great for certain types of viewers.
Alright. Plug this week?
Like, rate, review, subscribe, share. Same old, same old.
All of it. Yeah, like us, love us, leave us comments. Tell us what you thought. Did you see this? Because we want to know. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Brutally Honest Reviews, only on the Brutally Honest Network. This was The Favorite. I highly recommend checking out Yorgos Lanthimos' other film, The Lobster. It's currently on Netflix.
Ooh, I
don't
think
know
I'm going
for how
to
long.
then.
Yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. I will definitely go see anything he puts out because he's shown to create very weird, complex movies with complex characters and quality actors. And I don't know. It's when you see The Lobster, you know it's just gonna be. Just let me know. It's weird. It's very weird. But
weirder than this?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, by far. By far.
But it's more modern, I'm assuming?
No.
Or it's its own planet?
It's its own thing.
All right,
Yeah.
that's in.
Yeah, it's like an alternate world.
Okay, I can get into
Not that crazy, just the way in which people can like act.
Act?
And
Okay.
also the fact that you turn into an animal, or they turn you into an
I
animal.
love Animorphs. What the frig?
It's bizarre. But yeah, check us out next week. We've got another podcast coming out next week on Brutally Honest Reviews. We have our music podcast, Streaming for Gold, and we also have our filmmaking podcast, The Jump Cut, pretty soon. We're also going to have our Office comedy, which is live action, and we're filming in February, called Hotline. And we will also have Beyond the Wall, which is a Game of Thrones show starting very soon, which will be recapping all of the other 6 seasons of Game of Thrones. And then when the 7th one starts, you'll get 1 episode per episode. One episode per episode. But leading up, I think we're going to do 1 episode per season.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Still fleshing it out, but either 1 to 3 episodes per season. Could do something like that.
Yeah, just let me know.
I'm not
But yeah,
on that.
tune in for all that shit, and see you next week. Peace.
Bye.